Get ready.
Now, I'm pretty excited about this, Tots.
Pokemon.
Oh, Jesus.
I hate you.
I'm really keen on this.
Should we maybe get Floppy to describe what this TOTS is, considering it was his idea originally?
I'd love to say that it was my idea, but it's just it's an idea that a lot of people do, but it's a concept that I really like, where we're going to look at games that we love, that games that have possibly reviewed really well or done really well or have meant something to us that we think more people need to play, that maybe didn't get the recognition that they deserved.
Use the keyword, hidden gems.
We want to talk about hidden gems.
I love that.
Sweet.
I got a little catchphrase. We want to talk about games that you could have, you should have, but you might not have played.
Oh, God. You sound like a radio host.
I
You're
like it.
welcome.
Hey, everyone. It's me, the Flopster. Be sure to join in here at 102.3, where you can hear the latest hits from the 70s, 80s, and 80s. It's Midnight Oil.
Let's just go 60s and 70s and forget the rest.
You can win
Floppy.
$5 cash.
Cash, cash, cash. Just go on down to the Sweet Street Sweeper, where you can find the man with the cow head.
All right, stop that.
All right,
Don't make me mute you.
Because
That
our
went
show
too- that went too
isn't
far.
long enough at this point.
Oh, Braden's here
Floppy.
still.
Yeah, I'm still here. I gotta say, it's very weird not being at the table, like at the desk, like making all the switches happen and everything. Like I'm so chilled out right now. It's very strange.
What do you, how are you rating my switching, Braden?
I'd say it's obviously a lot tougher being the sense of we have to like match it up for all of us since we can't see it live happening and we have to kind of cue it a bit more. But like, you're doing a good job.
Thanks, man. That's
Dan.
all right. I like that someone's Siri just went off then.
Yeah, it was mine.
Okay, Hidden Gems. Floppy, your segment.
All right.
Hit us.
So we have picked 3 games each that we think are really cool. We would love to see other people play for various reasons. My number 1 is a game that was released on PS3 and 360, 2009, and it is called Brutal Legend.
I played this.
A lot of people have heard about it. Not a lot of people have played it though.
Yeah,
It's
I was really surprised how good this was.
Yeah, look, it's a super fun game. It mixes a lot of different gameplay elements really, really well, I think. So it's got a little bit of RTS, a little bit of beat 'em up, a little bit of shooting, a little bit of racer, and they've all melded together to this one story that is led by a character named Eddie Riggs, who's a roadie he's an old school roadie for heavy metal bands, and the whole game is based around heavy metal music. The main character is played by Jack Black.
Yeah,
And he
that's
does
the
his-
main thing you should be saying. It's Jack Black,
I'm getting there,
man.
It is Jack Black, and he does it in his best Jack Blackness. The intro to the game, just to get to the main menu, is a actual video of Jack Black leading you through in first person to find a record in a record store. That is the main menu for the game. It is phenomenal. And then they have a cast on it that is unbelievable. You have Ozzy Osbourne from Black Sabbath. You've got Lemmy, is Killmeister, isn't it? Killmeister from Motorhead. You got Rob from Judas Priest. You got Tim Curry, who's not a heavy metal guy, but an amazing actor.
Yeah.
Frankenfurter.
Yeah, exactly, Frankenfurter.
And that
leading
guy
up the
from Clue.
cast. Oh, dude, Clue. When we do movies, you should have seen Clue. It is a phenomenal game, and this whole thing is it's really tongue-in-cheek humor, but it's a really it's got a really gripping story in it, which is not you don't expect from a game like this.
Yeah, it's this great RPG world kind of like role-playing game of this giant world you're in, which is all metal-based, and it's all legit metal references and stuff. You know what I mean? Like if you're into metal, like this game was like nailed it. Like
There's over 100. I think there's over 100 licensed tracks from heavy metal, death metal, and all the other kinds of denominations of metal that there is. It is really, really well done, and it did not get the recognition it deserved. I mean, it scored really well. It was like an 83 Metacritic, got like a 9 out of 10 on IGN. Didn't tell real well though.
Yeah, I kind of really want to play this.
oh, dude, it's
Yeah.
sick. It's such a good
All right.
game.
Dan, what's your first pick?
My first pick. That's a great question. let me load the video to remind myself. Oh yeah. So my first pick is, once the video decides to actually work, is Earth Defense Force 2017. I don't know. Has anyone heard of these games?
No, I keep
Yes,
thinking of
I
Defenders
have.
of the Earth.
So
I
basically,
hadn't heard about this, and then at some point Dan showed me it, and I laughed very hard.
it's what attracted to me at first about it is I love giant bug movies, like Tarantula and Eight-Legged Freaks and all stuff like that. And someone said, "Oh, you should play like Earth Defense Force." And I looked it up and got it. And you basically play a dude, as you can see here, like third-person style, and you're in an army, and an invading force of giant bugs is invading the Earth, and every single thing in this world is destructible. Buildings can come down, and so you've got overwhelming odds of these thousands of these gigantic ants or spiders or flying bugs and stuff like that coming out of flying saucers, and it's just a matter of clearing wave after wave of them, and it's just so fun and tactical and amazing, and it just that cheesy sci-fi, giant bug stuff that I just loved so much, put into this futuristic thing with 100% destructible city was so cool. And the bugs crawl up the buildings. The spiders are gross; they're like jumping spiders, and it's just like this amazing game, and no one knows about it. And there's 6 of them out now. They've been continually bringing them out every year. Not every year, but a fair lot. And the new ones, you've got all 4 players at the same time, when you all have different skills and that, and overwhelming, ridiculous bugs, full destructible cities and stuff like that. And it's just a classic game that no one talks about. Just me and my mate know about it. We always talk to each other about it. And yeah, that's my number. That's my first pick. What do you guys think?
This game is hilarious because it's so funny to see something from the most in the past decade that it still has that feel of sci-fi from the early 1900s.
I think Michael Towns in the comments mentioned that this possibly canonically takes place in the Godzilla universe as well.
Oh, God,
really? Look, can you see what's happening at the moment? You're fighting ships and there's giant spheres. So everything is big in this game. That was their point. And then you fight robots later down the track that are huge, you know what I mean, so big. And you're just always just a dude on the ground running around. You never get later on in the other ones they put vehicles in it and stuff like that. But the fact is that you're fighting these things that are as big as 7 buildings later on, and you're just a dude on the ground with a rocket launcher. It's so good. It's so stupid and just fun. Just a great.
That does sound fun.
Yeah, and it was it's one of those guilty pleasure games that I just love, which I think what a hidden gem really is.
And I think because it's got such great multiplayer, it'd be really good for a Final Form once.
Oh, damn.
But
I have been thinking about getting because I looked up the reviews of them, and there's definitely standout ones, and there's ones that people hate. You know what I mean? So some of the other versions of the games blew it, and some of them just nailed it. But yeah, this was the first one I played. Yes?
What's Ben's first pick?
See, these types of things are hard for me because I'm a really vanilla type person, and I only seem to really like games that are really popular or well critically received. So
you save your pennies and only get the AAA titles.
Not so much, but the games that I like tend to be games that everyone likes. For example, my favorite Pokemon is Charizard, which everyone loves. Michael Towns in the comments has just gone Pokemon Snap, Ben, and yeah, he's not wrong. So I went through my collection, just looking at games that I got that I enjoyed as a kid that don't really have a lot of discussion around them, and I thought, you know what, we'll do that.
So these games, they might not have a lot of discussion about them, not much fanfare, but you loved it, and that's the hidden gem of it.
Yeah, well, this one's a hidden gem because I never thought I would love this game, but it turned out I played it a whole heap. It's the Flintstones, The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy.
I don't remember Hoppy. Who's Hoppy?
Okay, Ben, you're fired.
Hoppy was the Barney Rubble's pet. So Dino was obviously Fred Flintstone's and Hoppy. No,
really?
It was a kangaroo dinosaur. Yeah, it's in the later season. It's with the Great Gazoo, the alien that came down that only Fred and Barney could see, and it used to get them in trouble.
I remember that from that live action movie.
Yeah. Do you know what my favorite thing in the Flintstones was? That secret cult that they were in. Do you remember they were in a stone
Club or whatever it is?
Yeah, like a stonemasony kind of. There's
like the Buffaloes or something.
Anyway,
I
this game is really simple, and I have a soft spot because this was the first game that I discovered a cheat in. I think I've told this story before.
Oh,
Like in
Oh,
the
have-
very last level, you go across to the other side of the tower that you need to go up 5 levels, and you hold down and jump, and Fred Flintstone just jumps up. But I also liked it because it had mini games in it where you play basketball.
yeah, I
and
can
you
see
use
that
your-
that
you
happening
use your
right
butt
now.
to your butt to smash out the other guy, and you just destroy him.
Because that's just what all cavemen do. Back in the day, before we worked out you could punch people, we just hit them with our asses.
Yeah,
is it one
and
of those
you use
games that's simple but like really difficult, like the old
Like Duck-
side-scrolling platformers? and
no,
things
it
like-
wasn't. It wasn't difficult at all. It's not like
Oh.
a DuckTales where it was
Okay.
actually really good games and whatnot. This was basic. This was a basic game, but I enjoyed it and I had a hell of a lot of fun. Anyway, Brayden, your turn.
Yo, as you will find, 2 out of my 3 are on the PS2 because that's what I grew up with. But my
Awesome.
first one is Ratchet Deadlocked, which is also known for us Aussies and people in the UK, Ratchet Gladiator.
Oh,
Now, this one changed up a little bit from the standard. I was going to say skip into the video a tiny bit, Dan.
skipping it.
This one, yeah, skip into it a bit. This one sort of changed it up from their regular style of the like story, like crazy platform, everything. And they actually took Clank away from you,
Yeah.
and Clank sort of became the man in the chair who's like telling you everything and making sure you're like safe and like upgrading and things like that. And they gave you these 2 like AI robots.
Ooh.
And so basically the whole premise is that Ratchet and Clank get sort of kidnapped in a sense, and they are sort of thrust into this Bloodsport arena TV entertainment show. Like if you sort of thought of like
Smash TV.
yeah, honestly, like if you thought of like Takeshi's Castle and Wipeout, but with like crazy aliens and guns, like that's Ratchet Gladiator. And oh my god, like I absolutely love it. And this one was not nearly as big as the main games, but like I had so much fun playing this. The guns were just mental. The like arena battles and like the bosses were dope. Yeah, absolutely loved it.
That's good. Is it your favorite Ratchet? And Clank?
Nah, 3's still my favorite, but
Is that Up
this
Your
does
Arsenal?
follow it up. Yeah, Up Your Arsenal is still my favorite. But this one came out the year after Up Your Arsenal, so I think I got it when it was new, but like people didn't really jump on it as much because it wasn't Ratchet and Clank 4.
That Up Your Arsenal like title still weirds me out. It's a kids game. That's such an arse joke. Like,
Yeah, powerful stuff. Thanks,
Powerful.
Insomniac.
powerful.
Wasn't there another one? Wasn't the other one called A Crack in Time?
Yeah, so then when they got to the future era and did the PS3 games, there was
Another
A Crack in
arse joke.
Time. Weirdly, they got to the PS3, they did Tools of Destruction, which is just a normal title,
Yeah.
and then they went, "No, we got to make a butt joke again." So then they did A Crack in Time.
Nice. What are we up
Yeah,
to
I
now?
love this game.
Floppy, what's your second pick?
So my second pick is also a PS2 game. Sorry, we're getting a lot of PS2 games, but then PS2 was a great console. So it was a PS2 game, but it was also a Wii game. Came out in 2008, and it is the licensed game of Speed Racer that was based on the film, not the
Which
anime.
apparently is exceptionally good. Like writers who I really respect and admire talk about how good this film is, and I've never seen it, which is weird because I was a massive
Are you
Speed Racer
joking?
fan.
Yeah, dude, it's
This-
made by the
so-
Matrix people.
So the film is amazing. It is bright. It is colourful. It is over the top. It is phenomenal. It is non-stop fun.
It
And
was
I'm
the
a
reason you bought a Blu-ray.
Yeah,
Because it came out around when Blu-rays were coming out, and this was a sick movie to watch on Blu-ray.
So
I
they
bought a
made
Blu-ray
this.
because Tron Legacy.
They made
Ooh.
this game that was essentially all of that stuff that the movie was, and just made it into game. They made it nice and simple, easy to control. It was fun. There was a whole bunch of tracks. If you had PS2, you had more tracks, I believe, than you had on the Wii. You could do what they call car fu, which is like kung fu, but with a car. So you could do
Genius.
flips.
Just genius.
Someone
Nothing
give that
like-
writer a medal.
Absolutely. but it was really easy to do, and it was really arcadey. So it was like, you would race around these giant elevated tracks and crazy tracks that do loops and defy all sorts of physics. Very F-Zero-y, like super fast. But then you would do these spins and flips and jumps with using the jacks in your car, like you did in the anime as well and the movie, and knock the other people out of the tracks, or you knock them to slow them down and scoot past them. You can get boosts and all that sort of stuff. And if you got
Can
enough boosts, you can go into like a super warp mode. Where nothing
can
can
you
touch
fall off the track?
Yes, you could. If you
Oh.
got knocked out, I believe. I think.
I was gonna say, watching the gameplay actually looks like real fun.
It is
Yeah.
so much fun. Now, the other cool thing about it is the actors from the film reprise their roles for voices in the game.
Oh, you gotta love when
Now,
dudes do that.
there wasn't a lot of voice acting in there. Like, it's a pretty simple game. But the fact that they did that, I thought was really cool.
What's his name?
Super colorful.
What's his name from Roseanne's was in it? What's his name? Tom Arnold?
Tom
No.
Arnold.
Tom Arnold. Yeah, he played Pop Racer. And
Yeah.
he has the best line in the film. I can't remember if it's in the game, where he throws a ninja away. And someone says, "Oh, that was a ninja." And he went, more of a nunja.
Yeah. The film's great, eh? The film is like
Yeah.
the best representation I've ever seen of any cartoon without making it like
Without
not
making it
like the
dumb.
cartoon, but it's still a cartoon, but it's still a live action film, but you still feel like you're watching the cartoon. Like
Everyone needs to watch the movie, then everyone needs to get the game.
Excellent. I agree. I concur.
PS2, Wii, you could get it on the 3DS. Don't play it on the 3DS. That was crap.
Yeah, I haven't been saying what I've been like playing, what my games are on. All of mine are on Xbox 360.
Cool. Well, you can do it on your next one.
Yeah, I will. Is that me next? It is.
Yeah,
All
yes,
right.
it is.
Wow, I'm in control. So my next one is Xbox 360, but it's also on every single thing that's ever existed. Sleeping Dogs. Does anyone play Sleeping Dogs in the?
I own it, but I
Nah.
haven't played it yet.
I have not, but I really need to.
This game, I mean, I'm not a massive fan of Grand Theft Auto, but then this came out, and it's very Grand Theft Auto. You know what I mean? Like, it's got the same kind of map that you can't see on the screen at the moment, and the same kind of thing. Except it's set in I think, as I remember, it's set in like the Chinatown in New York. You know, they've got the big Chinatown,
Yep.
kind of thing. Or it might actually be set in like Asia or
I'm
something.
on it. I'm having a look.
Yeah. I just really, really, really like this game. I really like just like the feeling of walking around like the streets, and it was like felt alive. You had heaps to do. It controlled well, and like you had
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. Oh, it's like actually set in Hong Kong.
Yep.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, so you got to walk around this Hong Kong, looking at all this stuff. Looking, you know, you can see people in the background. They're chopping, like, you know, dudes making food. And I've got a chase scene here, which is not the best. I might just fast forward to like a car scene. So yeah, the car racing part of it was really, really cool. So you had like, have you guys ever played Just Cause?
Yes.
So you know when you get close to a
Yeah.
car, you can like jump out and onto the cars and stuff like that. You can do that in this.
Oh
So
my god.
they basically took like a whole bunch of elements of Grand Theft Auto, but made it more fun and ridiculous, if you know what I mean. Not as ridiculous as Saints Row, but they added all these ridiculous action-y movie things, like John Wooey style things into it that you could just like do as part of like being in cars and stuff like that. And I just found it so fun. And then right out of left field, I never thought would happen. I fully got into the story and the characters. And I remember like one of the characters gets married in it, and then his wedding gets interrupted, and I was shattered. I was like, I can't believe that rival gang ruined his wedding. I fully got into the story, and it was an actual movie, like Hong Kong theater like story that I just loved. And I think the proof in the pudding is that it has been come over. It was on Xbox 360, then went on to Xbox One. It was on PlayStation 3, and now it's on PlayStation 4. Like, it just works out. It's just a great game. And if you haven't played it, seriously play this game. It's so fun, hey? Like, just, you know, everything Grand Theft Auto should have been, in my opinion. Sorry for the Grand Theft Auto fans out there who love Grand Theft Auto with a passion. I know it's the best game in the entire world, highest selling game and that, but to me, it just doesn't float my boat. I just can't be bothered, I just can't be bothered emailing my mum all the time in it.
High selling doesn't mean best.
No, I know.
That's the whole point of this this topic of the show.
Yeah.
Is-
Speaking of high-selling games and possibly the greatest game that ever graced the earth of the 1990s, there's a game that I didn't even know the actual real title of until a couple of weeks ago.
So this is your pick, Ben.
This is my
Fake
pick.
fan.
It's Captain Comic, and yeah, I thought it was Captain Cosmic for like 25 years.
I know, because you were asking me to find it the other day, like footage or gameplay, and you were saying the wrong name, and we just never found it.
Anyway, in this game, you play a spaceman who's in medieval ages for some reason, shooting fireballs at like birds and collecting orbs.
Is this played on a Casio watch?
This is played on a 386. It was either this or tabletop pinball that I had to play.
Or
Because Dad
Minesweeper.
wouldn't let me play Minesweeper.
Oh, you weren't allowed.
Well, I was, but I got infuriated
Too
by it.
graphic.
Did he feel that it would stimulate your mind so much that you would become too smart and take over the world?
Well, I think it was because Minesweeper was the only game my dad could beat me at. So I think he was sort of like afraid that I would destroy him. Plus, I like fantasy games.
I feel that the guy who writes Death Note and all that must have been like fully into Minesweeper, and that's how he bases all his stories about it.
Minesweeper's like heaps easy.
I got Minesweeper on my Apple iPhone, by the way. The exact same one. There's an app with it. It's free. It's great. Anyway, Captain Comic. He's an astronaut, and I like this as a kid. So next.
You're heaps good at
Right.
this.
I love it.
Braden.
All right, yes. So my second pick is a real weird one. I remember
Weirder than
seeing
Captain Comic?
a little bit.
Let me just. Yes, look.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the weirdest thing. It's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but instead it's Disney. This is
Sweet.
Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure, and
Sounds
oh my
rad.
god, I played this so much as a kid.
Man, I hate you, Braden, so much. This is so
Oh my
crap.
god. Oh my god, I loved it so much. It's like no, but like you could change the controls so that it was literally the controls of like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, I think 3 or 4. Like it's so funny. Like, and as a little kid, I played Underground heaps, but I was also playing this at the same time. It was a real weird juxtaposition.
Do you know what? I reckon they have just reskinned Tony Hawk, because all the movements of the landing and how this game like flows, because as a person who's played a lot of Tony Hawks, I think it's the actual game.
It is. No, not a joke. It legitimately is. It's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, I think, basically just reskinned with all Disney stuff. Disney levels, Disney characters, like voice actors, which is definitely not the voice actors from the original films, like all of that stuff. It's great. And like
Okay,
you
so
go
I
through
really wanna play
Toy
this.
Story. I know, you have to find it. It's so good. You got like, but like this was an even funnier thing for me. Like there's an entire like 3-minute intro video when you first boot up the game, and it's like a skate competition with all these kids. And what Activision did was they held competitions for kids to come and show off their skate skills. And if they won the competition, they made them characters in the game.
Oh, Dan, you should have done that.
Damn,
So-
I wonder if they got like, the Tony Hawk people who are in those games got a lot of money for those games. I bet those kids got nothing.
Oh, nothing at all. And
Piece of
like
chicken wing.
100%. Like, so there's like 3 or 4 from memory, maybe, like kids that are in the game to start with. You can also create your own character and you unlock gear and all that stuff. Like I remember playing way too much of this game as a kid.
Can
What
you
I
only
know-
play as Woody?
No.
So there's Woody, there's Buzz, there's so you've got Toy Story, you've got Tarzan, you've got Lion King, and you've got some other ones as well. There's an entire like hub world, which is meant to be like the real world where like you as a kid can skate, but like like you can go into all these different levels with all these different like Disney movies. Oh, it's great fun.
Yeah, there's like 40 characters you can be or something ridiculous. But what we haven't mentioned is the music in this game.
Oh my god, the soundtrack in this was so good.
Yeah, it has chronically good music. It's got like sweet, like so many good, like "We Are Your Friends." You know that song?
Yeah, honestly,
How did they get that license? Oh, they did.
Yeah,
Of course.
the weirdest part is like it. So you've got obviously with the Tony Hawk games, like you had like really good soundtracks on there as well. But like somehow on this, as like this stupid kids film, like based one, like they got such good music on it. It was amazing.
Let's look it up. You keep talking, Brandon. I'm gonna look up the actual
Yeah.
track listing of it.
But like the main song, like the main theme of the entire game is by Simple Plan. It's Grow Up. And like I can still hear that song in my head like permanently.
So we got on there Smash Mouth. Was in there Basement Jacks.
God damn.
Real
Love me
Big
some
Fish.
Basement Jacks.
Real
Real
Big Fish.
They were great.
Romeo Miller. Who else have we got? There's a whole bunch of them. Do they have any of the were any of the Disney kids in there? Like the Disney bands.
I don't think they even did that. I'm pretty sure it was just all like basically kids pop punk. It was great.
Yeah, New Boys. Audio
I
Vent.
want to play this.
So many good.
What did you play it on, Braden?
PS2.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, honestly, just try and find it on like some sort of like Facebook Marketplace or something. Someone will be selling it for $2. You'll have a great night.
You have a sick night.
Oh,
Yeah, this is great. Like the only
Speaking
thing
of
I don't.
nights,
Oh,
do you know what else is sick?
What?
Moving on to Floppy's pick.
it is true.
Big
We have
Disney-
been.
big
We have
Disney
been. We have been going for 2 hours now.
I
And we-
know,
and we
I'm
somehow
starting to
just-
find-
Geeked out over Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure.
All right,
So-
lightning
Okay.
round. Let's do lightning round.
No,
Okay,
no.
so-
I don't want to rush it.
I was going to say Dan's
My-
excited for his.
My pick for number 3, my final pick for the hidden gems of this show, is a game that is a clone of Balderdash. Now, I never played Balderdash. I played Superplex. This is a game.
Superplex.
Like
This
this
is a
is
game
just
that
Balderdash, eh? This is the first
It-
level of Balderdash.
So it is Balderdash, but it was a Balderdash clone that they made so that they could fit the game onto a floppy disk,
Ah.
Onto a U disc.
onto a me disk, on a floppy's disk. And this came out, I think it was 1991. My uncle brought it into the family, and it overtook my entire family. My dad played it. I played it. My sister played it. My mum played it, who just hates games, does not play games. She played it, and it is exactly the same as Balderdash, but computer themed. So the background was circuit boards that you chomped through. Your little character Murphy. There was kind of a story. I can't remember what it was, but you would, it was all like weird physics, like the zonks they were called, but the boulders would fall down. You could push them different ways to be able to get through the puzzle levels. There was 111 levels. We didn't have any instructions for this too, so we worked out how to play it. We all got stuck on like one level that was like level 20 something until we finally worked out that you could hold a button, press another button, and eat.
Eat
like
a
Man,
a
that was
square.
circuit.
The
Eat a
best
square.
thing about getting like just floppy disks with random games on it, or CDs with like a whole bunch of shareware on it, that you didn't get any of the instructions.
No,
and
you
it
had
was
to work
just-
it out.
Just messing around until you work something out.
So this
Yeah.
game is great, and the coolest thing about this game is it is now freeware, and probably has been for 20 years. It's now freeware, so you can get it on your mobile, you can get it on your laptop, you can get it anywhere. Go out and get it. It is one of those things that you'll go like, all right, I'll try a little puzzle game, and you'll start it, and you'll be like, oh, I'll get the next level. And
Balderdash.
then all of a sudden it's
He
been,
stuffed
like,
it.
8
This
days.
guy. Balderdash was one of those ones where it was the first kind of physics kind of base game. You know what I mean? Like where the balls fall down from you doing stuff like that. I played. I've got massive memories for Balderdash. Like that game was
Yeah,
just,
that game was
like
great.
huge on the Amstrad. Amstrad. I played it originally. Such a good game. But anyhow,
I played
So
on my
I've actually
386.
I've never really found anyone else that has actually played Superplex.
I haven't.
No,
I've
nor have I.
never my family was the only people that I knew that played this game. I'm sure there was others. I think Townsy in the chat said he played it. I'm not sure if he's talking about Superplex or Balderdash, but either way,
He's going to
it's
DOS
so much
days.
fun.
All
All
right.
right. Okay. Similarly, back in the 90s, I played a little game called Hook on the Game Boy.
Is it at my shop?
Uh,
Yes.
yep. But I played Hook.
Do you want to do Hook? Do you want to do Hook?
Yeah, we'll
Do
do
Hook.
Hook quickly.
Do
Is
Hook.
this on the film?
Yeah, it's the game based on the film. So there was
Oh
a
my
NES version and a
God.
Game Boy version. I loved this game because it went from like a third-person flying game where you try and collect things as your Peter Pan flying through to a side-scrolling platform game where you're Peter Pan going through the tree, killing the pirates, and then you play basketball against Rufio. And
Oh my
win the
god,
leadership.
nice.
Rufio.
Yeah, it was great. I love this game. Looking back now, I reckon it's a piece of trash, but back then it was one of my favorite games ever. And I sadly lost it when I lost my original Game Boy in one of my many moves, but I've since got it back. In fact, I think I've got 2 copies of this game now sitting in my Game Boy collection.
You say two,
So you don't recommend anyone to play it now?
No, give it a go, because if I remember it being good when I was young, there's a good chance it was okay. Having said that, I also liked the Mortal Kombat 2 game on the Game Boy, and that was decisively not okay.
Having said that, you also like Captain Comic?
Captain Cosmic.
Cosmic.
Anyway, your turn, Dan.
So I as I said, Xbox 360 was one of my golden years. A little game I like to call Prototype came out.
You like to call it?
No one else calls it Prototype.
No, they do.
Just Dan.
So at the time, exactly the same week, I believe it was, or at least in the same couple of weeks, Infamous came out.
Love Infamous.
Where you played Infamous. Everyone knows what Infamous is. And also at the same week, Prototype came out. Now, and this follows an anti-hero who gets powers, as you can see here. This was Infamous, but this is the Infamous that I wanted to play. This is a hyper-violent, hyper-powerful anti-hero who's like super strong. You can fly, you can run fast, you're heavy. And what I really enjoyed about it at the time is that you're in the city and you're fighting this bad corporation who accidentally gave you these powers. Like, it's a revenge thing. You want to get these dudes back for stuffing up your life. And all the humans in it are there's so much collateral damage in this game. It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so you'll be fighting, and as you can see here, there's the movement system was awesome, a la kind of the Spider-Man of today. Like, kind of like, you're so much upgrading with stuff you can do. And, so you'd be fighting and, people are getting, arms and legs are flying everywhere. Cars are flying everywhere. You can merge, you get power by just grabbing innocent people and absorbing them into you. And if you absorb certain people, you can become them. So you can go into like military installations as an army man in disguise and walk in and then just kill everyone. You can get a whole bunch of different suits. So you can go like big hard rock man. You can get like big punching arms. You can have like big tentacles that come out of you, and as you go on you build up like a crazy meter, and then you can just do a berserker attack which just destroys everything on the screen, every person, every baddie, every car, everything. Like, and the amount of power you felt in this game that you had, like, I've never had it like any other. And I found that Infamous just didn't give that to me. And then I went back to Infamous, and you're like, sure, the graphics are a little bit better, but you're just sitting there just going pew pew pew, fighting out some electricity and that. And in this game, I could just like pick up a car and lob it at someone, or a tank, and you just end up being so powerful, and just these fights that are so crazy. We can see here he's just changing.
I was gonna say, when, like, if Prototype never came out, and around the time of Infamous, people were like, "Hey Dan, are you liking Infamous?" Dan would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm liking it, but I'd like it more if it did this." And Prototype is that. Yeah.
This is like what I wanted to do. I'm a massive fan of weight in games. Like, one of my favorite things is Evangelion. Or you can see here on screen at the moment. You guys are seeing he's just done his super attack. I really loved Evangelion because I thought the robots felt really heavy. Like, they'd land and they had momentum and they slid. There's so much momentum and weight in this game of your character, and just a beautiful, solid game. And they did Infamous 2, and that was really good as well. And they just took the gore levels up to like 1,000 in that. It was so good. But this was the first one. This one like bought it out of the woodwork. I just loved it. It is a very me game though. Like,
yeah,
not everyone's gonna love it.
I played the first half of the first one, and actually 100%ed Prototype 2 because the trophies were really easy. But I had a great time playing it.
Yeah, like, how's that in Prototype 2? You can do things where like the sticky bombs come out of you, and when they touch people, they rip them apart. Like
Yeah, honestly,
and they're all
it's
hanging
so
corpses,
violent.
hanging corpses in these tendrils of goop that have come out of you. Like,
Yeah. Oh, it's like it's HP Lovecraft's modern wet dream.
yeah, and like when you needed energy, you just grabbed an innocent bystander and absorbed them into you. Like,
Yeah, I love that.
anyhow, Prototype, one of my favorite. I think it's one of my favorite games. Like, I know I say that all the time for every week, but this is definitely in my top 30. I love it so much, and I want them to do another one with like next gen. Man, they could go crazy on this stuff. Like,
yeah, they said it'd be mental.
But yeah, that's me. That's what I loved.
I can honestly say each of the games we talked about here, I really would love to play. Braden, don't mess it up.
No, so not messing it up. Okay, so you know how people are playing Animal Crossing to chill out and everything?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is another great game to play when you're chilling out. It's called Everything.
Okay.
Can I say, when you wrote that on our run sheet and I read it, I thought you were taking the piss because I have never heard of a game.
So this thing, I heard of it and then never looked into it at all. All the gameplay you're seeing right now is legit. It's not a joke. That's actually how like everything moves. Like the animals move, the land moves, the space moves. It's very interesting. It was free on Epic Game Store a couple of weeks ago, and so I checked it out, and oh my god, like it's so calm and weird because all you do is like you start off as like a deer or something, and you plop along like how those animals are moving.
Like everything spins kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
it's got like 4 bits of animation. It's like front, side, back, turn.
Yep.
Like,
It's hilarious. It's so dumb. But so the entire time you're just exploring and you interact with stuff, and then you get the ability to like downsize. So you go to something smaller than what you currently are, and then you go up and go up. The smallest you can get, I have a note here so that I say it right. The smallest you can get, you can become subatomic.
yeah.
So like,
Ant-Man.
yeah, so legit.
Ant-Man.
So the bits in Ant-Man at the end when they're doing the whole like crazy visuals and stuff, you get to just do that. That's a thing you can do in this game. And then the largest you can get is like entire universes. Like
Sweet.
it's great fun. And throughout like it's so like calm as well because there's just like music going and everything, like some dumb sound effects and stuff. And then like every now and again you'll like find a thing you can interact with, and it starts up a audio log from the philosopher Alan Watts.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
And it's just him giving quotes about like life and like philosophy on like how things were created and like everything like has a purpose and doesn't have a purpose at the same time. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna play this.
Yeah, it's so weird.
But we've got yeah. What were those menus before, Braden? That had all those like on-off switches for like really weird things.
So you can get like there's way that I played it to start with was like it's like all the natural stuff you can find and everything, and then you can just get some like weird ass ones throwing in there, like as you saw before, like a you know, ribs and like really dumb objects. But otherwise you can go on like a bacterial level and like interact with like molecules and stuff, and then you go to space and there's all this cool stuff in space.
What is the point of it?
Nothing.
It looks crazy. Like, why have I never heard it? And what's it on? Where did it originate?
So
Epic Game Store, but it's coming to PlayStation 4, I believe.
Yeah, so it's on PS4 and everything, but yeah, I played it on PC. And yeah, you just get to interact with everything. All of these are like you talk to things and they're like, I'm special, I'm unique. And then you see like 800 of them, so you're kind of like, are you? So like it's kind of like a thinking man's non-thinking game.
Dude, the every second of this footage that we're watching, it's like I'm watching a different game.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. I don't even know what I'm watching. It looks like it's just life simulator, a philosophical life simulator. Is that
Yeah,
right?
basically.
That is bang up my alley.
Yeah,
Is it-
100%.
How can you've just won it, Braden?
You're really?
But is this really?
Hey! I had Hook on Game Boy.
You had Captain Cosmic Hookman, Flintstone
Captain
baddie.
Cosmic. Yeah, Flintstones. I reckon I lost it. I lost it so bad.
This is amazing. Look at this. What's
Yeah,
going on?
Honestly, it's the kind of thing where you can go in and just like experiment a bit and just you'll have so much fun.
Do you know what else is fun? You know what
No.
else is the most fun? Do you know what is the most fun ever?
Is it ending the show?
It's ending the show.